Good evening, students. In last video, we discussed about the which one Raoult's law of liquid mixture or volatile liquid mixtures. Now, in this session, a non-volatile solid solute in liquid, and from that one, derivation of Raoult's law. After that, ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions, and from after that colligative properties of solutions that will be discussed in this session. So in the first session we discuss about which one? Raoult's law for a non-volatile solute in liquid volatile solid. Here, so before that we discussed clearly. Take a beaker and pour some a pure solvent. Pure solvent. This one pure liquid, which is in a closed container. So, we already a volatile solvent or volatile liquid here. So, volatile liquid means itself it evaporates without giving any extra heat energy. So, what happens? Some of the molecules which is on the surface of this liquid solvent, these are escape from the surface and enters into the which one? Gaseous state. Am I right? So, while the surface molecules converts into gaseous phase, then what happens? There must be established an equilibrium between the gaseous phase molecules as well as liquid phase molecules. At that time, what is the pressure exerted by the gas molecules of the liquid is known as a which one? Vapor pressure. Vapor pressure. Okay, that is the vapor pressure. Pressure, what is this one? Vapor pressure of a pure solvent. Okay, clear? So this one is the called as a which one? Vapor pressure of a pure solvent. There is no any solute here. So for our convenience, it is considered as a which one? P naught. P naught means vapor pressure of which one? Pure solvent. Now into the same solvent, if we add a little amount of non-volatile solid solute, then what happens? It dissolves. Am I right? So while dissolution is taking place, what happens? The surface molecules here only pure solid molecules are available. Whereas in the case of here, what happens? On the surface, once observe here, what happened? In the second container, which is closed, here some of the solute particles also occupy space on the surface. So now compare, in which case more pure solvent molecules are there, in this case or in this case? In this case only. So in this case what happened? The occupied by solute particles. Then what happened? The escaping of volatile liquid molecules will be decreased. So automatically what happened? The vapor pressure also will be decreases. Here the more vapor will be here than this one. So little bit of vapor here. So that's why the pressure which is accepted here is lesser than which one? Pure solvent. So this is the which one? Vapor pressure of solution. That is considered as a P. That means the vapor pressure P0 is always greater than which one? P. Because in the case of a pure solvent, only the molecules of which one? Vapor molecules. That means only the solvent molecules are present here. Whereas in the case of on the surface of the solution, both solute as well as which one? Solvent particles are there. So only solvent particles only volatile here. The remaining particles are which are not volatile here. So then what happens? The pressure which is accepted in that container will be lesser than this one. Clear? So in that situation, we can apply the which one? Raoult's law for which one? A non-volatile solute in a liquid volatile solvent. So how can we derive the Raoult's law from this situation? Okay. Let us consider N1 moles of non-volatile solute and N2 moles of volatile solvent present in a solution with mole fractions x1 comma x2 respectively. Which one? x1 comma x2 respectively. So according to Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of a solution containing a non-volatile solute, the vapor pressure of a solution containing a non-volatile solute is directly proportional to mole fraction of solvent present in the solution. That is statement. Once observe the one, the vapor pressure of a solution. So vapor pressure of the solution is represented with which one? P. Of a non-volatile solute contain direct proportionality mole fraction of which one? A solvent. Mole fraction of solvent which one? X2. Okay. So that is mathematically represented as which one? P proportional to which one? X2. That implies while you are removing the proportionality constant, P equal to P naught into X2 or X2. Here P naught is a which one? Vapor pressure of pure solvent. Vapor pressure of which one? Pure solvent. Now, so P equal to P naught into, while I am replacing X2 as a 1 minus X1. 1 minus X1. Since we already well known about the which one? Mole fraction definition. From the mole fraction definition, X2 plus X1 equal to 1. So X2 equals to what happened? 1 minus X1. So instead of X2, what I am right here? 1 minus X1. Now P equal to what happened? P naught into 1 minus P naught multiplied with P naught. So what happened? P naught minus P naught X1. Okay. So while rearranging the equation, P naught X1 equals to P naught minus P. This one move to right to left as well as P left to right. Then what happened? P naught X1 equals to P naught minus P. So X1 equal to what happened? P naught minus by P naught. Yeah. So this one is called as which one? RLVP. RLVP means relative lowering vapor pressure. Relative lowering vapor pressure. So the ratio of difference in the pure solvent vapor to which one? Solution vapor upon the which one? Pure solvent. Then it is the called as which one? RLVP. That is relative lowering vapor pressure. Okay. So relative vapor pressure is directly proportional to which one? Mole fraction of the non-volatile solute. So that is the which one? Raoult's law. From this one, P naught minus P by P equal to, instead of X1, what do you write here? This is the mole fraction. Am I right? That means N1 by N1 plus N2. N1 plus N2. So it is in which one? In the terms of mole fraction, and this is in the terms of number of moles. Clear? So that is the which one? Raoult's law. That is the which one? Raoult's law. What are the limitations of Raoult's law? We will discuss it now. Limitations of Raoult's. First one is Raoult's law only applicable to Raoult's law only applicable to ideal solutions only. Ideal solutions only. And the second one, Raoult's law can apply for very dilute solutions, can also apply for very dilute solutions, which are approximately ideal solution nature. Ideal solution nature. Okay. And third one, the solution must contain at least one non-volatile solute only. Non-volatile solute means at least non-volatile solute must be there in that given solution. And the fourth one is the non-volatile solute not dissociate as well as not associated with the volatile solvent. Clear? So these are the limitations of which one? Raoult's law. Once observe here, Raoult's law only were applicable to which one? Ideal solutions. So what are ideal solutions? Later we discuss about this one. Ideal and non-ideal solutions. Don't bother about this one. And Raoult's law can also be applicable for which one? Very dilute solutions. Very dilute solution means the concentration of the solution is very much lesser. That means the content of solute is very much less in quantity. So for that only we can also apply the which one? Raoult's law. And the second one, the solution must contain at least one non-volatile solute. That means in the given solution, it must contain at least one non-volatile solute which is in solid state. Okay, no problem at all. And another one, the non-volatile solute not dissociate means not ionized, as well as not associated with the solvent. That means not combined with the which one? Solvent, which is in volatile nature. So these are the limitations of which one? Raoult's law. Clear? That's about the Raoult's law. On the basis of Raoult's law only, we discussed the same topic in colligative properties. Okay? You must remember that one carefully. Now, ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions. Ideal solutions, non-ideal solutions. So, which solutions are called as ideal solutions? Which solutions are called as ideal solutions? The solutions which obey the Raoult's law for every concentration, then those are called as which one? Ideal solutions. That means the solutions which obey the Raoult's law for every concentration. So every concentration, that means it is a lower concentration or higher concentration. Generally, Raoult's law applicable for which one? Very dilute solutions. So that's why even at minute dilute concentrated solutions, dilute solutions can also be applicable. Raoult's law, such solutions are called as ideal solutions. And one more important thing is delta H mix equal to 0. Delta H means while you are add the solute into a volatile solvent, what happens? it absorb heat energy or liberates heat energy. Absorb heat energy or liberates heat energy. That means certain amount, some of the solutions will absorb the temperature, some of the solutions give out the temperature. But while in the case of an ideal solution, that changes not occur, means it doesn't give energy as well as it doesn't absorb energy. So that means it is not an exothermic or endothermic. So that's why such solutions are called as which one? Ideal solutions. Delta H. H means enthalpy here. So heat energy is not liberated as well as heat energy is not absorbed. Such solutions we can prepare. Those solutions are called as which one? Ideal solutions. As well as another more important one is which one? Delta V equal to 0. That means while you are making a solution, what happens? The solute dissolves in which one? Solvent. So while the dissolution process takes place, the volume of the two solutions, the volume of the two which one? Components what we added, that must be equal to the sum of their individuals. Okay, that means for example, if we add 10 ml of one component and 20 ml of one component, if we mix with the two, then what happens? Total amount will be 30 ml. So the solution volume is 30 ml. Not it exceeds or not it is below. That means the volume of the solution does not changes while during the dissolution process. Such solutions are called as which one? Ideal solutions. Delta V means volume here. So there is no change in the volume. That means whatever the volume contents we are added, the total volume will be equal to the which one? Volume of the solution. Okay. So such solutions are called as which one? Ideal solutions. Okay. Another more. For these examples, which one? Benzene plus toluene. Benzene and toluene. This is an ideal solution mixture. As well as another example for this one is N-hexane plus N-heptane. N-hexane plus N-heptane. As well as the interaction between the molecules also will not be changed here. Clear? So that's why such kind of solutions are called as which one? Ideal solutions. So ideal solution means, what the first one? It must obey the Raoult's law for every concentration. Every concentration means longer concentration. Longer concentration means whatever the concentration is minute, that can be also be which one? Applicable the Raoult's law. And the second one is a delta H mixer. Mixer means while you are mixing the solutions, then what happen? There is no change in enthalpy. That means it doesn't give heat energy or absorbed energy. As well as delta V mix. That means the volume does not changes. That means what are the volume of the solute and solvent will be added, that will be total will be equal to the volume of solution, that is called as delta V mix equal to 0. Such solutions are called as which one? Ideal solutions. As well as the interaction between the molecules or the soluble particles will not be changed. That means there is no chemical reaction occurs between the solutions. So further examples we can benzene and toluene, N-heptane and N-hexane. Clear? Now what about the non-ideal solutions? Non-ideal solutions. Here only there. Which obey that one is called as which one? Ideal. Which are not obey that one are called as non-ideal solutions. The solutions which are not obey the Raoult's law. Not obey the Raoult's law are called as which one? Non-ideal solution. So again, due to the not obeying the Raoult's law, that means there may be deviations. Not obeying means deviation is there. So according to the not obeying the Raoult's law, these non-ideal solutions are categorized into two parts. Which one? Non-ideal solution means positive deviation positive deviation solution as well as negative deviation. So positive deviation solutions and negative deviation solutions. So how can we classify? Means both are same. Which one? Non-ideal means both the solutions are not obey the Raoult's law. What happened? If delta H mix is greater than 0, means it is endothermic dissolution. Endothermic means what happened? While you are making the solution, while you dissolve the solute into the solvent, what happened? Certain amount of heat energy is absorbed. So such solutions are called as which one? Non-ideal positive deviation solution. As well as if delta V mix is greater than 0, then what happens? The volume of solution increases after dissolution. Volume of the solution increases after the dissolution. So after the dissolution, what happened? The solution volume, the total volume of the solution is increases than the what the components we are adding. So that is about the which one? Non-ideal positive deviation solution as well as a negative deviation, quite opposite to this one. That means if delta H mix less than 0, then it is which one? Exothermic dissolution. Whereas in the case of volume, if delta V mix is less than 0, that means the volume of solution decreases during dissolution. That means the volume of solution decreases during dissolution. Such are called as which one? Negative deviations. So here once observe which are not obey the Raoult's law, those are termed as which one? Ideal, non-ideal. Which obey that one is called as which one? Ideal. So non-ideal again classifies into which one? Positive deviation as well as negative deviation. So while you are representing the graphs, this one is not me. This one is P naught B. This one is which one? Mole fraction Xc equal to 0, Xc equal to 1. Whereas Xb equal to 0, B means here this is a pure solvent. Okay, so Xb equal to 1. So this one is P total equals to which one? Plus. Whereas in the case of here, positive deviation means once observe how it is graphically represented. So positive deviation means what happened? The predicted value which is there, that will be more than the given solution. Let's observe here. This one is a which one? P, D. This one is a not A. This one is which one? Small fraction is x a equal to 0. This one is x b equal to 0. X b equal to 1. Here x a equal to 1. Okay. Yeah. So what happened? This is the without a deviation. So once it is a positive deviation, means what happened? The predicted value is more than the one. Than the which one? Without the experimental. So the positive value means it possesses more value than the obtained value. Whereas in the graph, this graph. So this one is the which one? P naught B. This one is the P naught B. This is the mole fraction of which one? X a equal to 0. X a equal to 1. This one is the x b equal to 1. X b equal to 0. So what happened? Once observe the graphs about the ideal solution as well as a non-ideal solution, which is a positive deviation, and non-ideal solution of which one? Negative deviation. Once observe the graph, what happened here? In the case of positive deviations, the predicted value is more than the natural value, whereas the predicted value is less than the which one? Natural value. So these are the difference between which one? Ideal and non-ideal solutions. Clear? So once recollect the matter, the solution which obey the Raoult's law for every concentration is called as which one? Ideal solutions. And delta H mix and delta V both are equal to 0. And these are the examples for which one? Benzene plus toluene and N-hexane plus N-heptane. For this one, what are the examples here? Which one? Positive deviation, alcohol plus water, C2H5OH, as well as CH3OH. Which one? For this one example, which one? Acetone. Acetone. Yes. Another one is which one? Acetone and chloroform. Okay. So those are the examples for which one? Non-ideal solutions. So for these solutions, if we add some another solutions to make into azeotropes. Okay, that's about the solutions.